always and not give up.
Luke 18, write that next to this. And this is the parable, this is the story. Jesus is basically telling a story about the widow and the judge. And the widow keeps going back to the judge. He's a crooked judge. And she says, he kept going to her saying, make sure I get fair treatment in court. This widow is harassing this judge. Make sure I get fair treatment in court. Make sure I get fair treatment in court. Finally, the judge gets there and he's like, geez, this woman is gonna wear me out. I gotta make sure she gets fair treatment. And Jesus told his disciples to pray just like that. Pray without ceasing. What? Pray without ceasing. I mean, and he says this to them. This is his words. Think about what the crooked judge said. Won't God protect his chosen ones who pray to him day and night? Won't he be concerned about them? Surely he will hurry up and help them. How many Christians do you know actually pray at all? And I'm talking more than pray over their food. And now I'm talking about pray more than 10 minutes in a day. I've just cut out at least 97% of Christians. If I say only those that pray 10 minutes and over, so how can you have a relationship with God? This is a part of the job description of being a disciple.
You will be successful in your role if you are recognized as loving other followers of the way.
Right. The only way they're going to know you're a disciple is this. Jesus says, love. He commands his disciples this. He says, love them as I have loved you. This way, they will know that you are my disciples. You can write John 13 next to that. That's where I read that. That's where that's from. They don't know that you're Jesus' disciple unless you love. How many Christians love people? No. Let me define the real love, right? Love is patient. Love is kind. Does not envy. Not that. Love that is conditional. How many people, Christians, really love other people? If they can't love their spouse, if they can't love their children, they're going to have a hard time loving you. And then finally, it says that you will love God and others. He tells them this: love God with all your heart, love others as yourself. The ideal candidate is this: you're clear about your priorities. Loving your family must come second to loving your employer. That's in Matthew 10. This is a job that says love your employer first. How many know that there are employers on earth that want you to love them more than you love your family? And some people do. They choose their employer. I watched it in the financial services industry all the time. These guys work 60, 70 to clock in a check, and in the meantime, their family is depressed. The kids are going crazy because they love the employer more. But this is the same thing that Jesus is asking, because he says it in Matthew 10. He says, if you love your father or your mother more than me, even your sons and your daughters, you're not fit to be my disciples. We don't hear this preaching. I clicked TBN the other day. Why no one told me this? Why am I watching all these YouTube sermons and no one's telling me this? Jesus says this stuff? Yeah. Matthew 10. Jesus even says in the next bullet point, loving Jesus more than yourself. You'll be highly recommended. Luke 14, write that next to that one. Luke 14, verse 26. He says, you can't be my disciple unless you love me more than you love yourself, your mother, your wife, your children, your brothers. You cannot come to me unless you love me more than you love your own life. That sounds crazy. But I tell you this. He says, I come to give life and life more abundantly. Think about the example I gave you before. If I love my wife more than my life, what does that mean for her? Means I don't want to be jealous if she does something more than me, because I love her more than me. I love God more than me. I want to be happy. See, if I love him more than if I love my life more than I love him, what does that mean for her? It means I come first. So it sounds harsh, but think about if people really loved him more, how they would treat other people. Sometimes we're so concerned about ourselves, we're defensive. We're defensive and we think everybody's out to get us. But if we love him more than our lives, we go into fiery situations and we're not concerned because he told us to. That's the benefit of that. You'll be prepared to undertake suffering when it's required. Pick up your cross each day. You'll find that in Matthew 10. You'll be given some focus on once you undertake the task. You'll be given full attention. So plowing. So plowing. So he the same thing. He told the guy, let the dead bury their dead. If you're saying Jesus in the last bullet point, that's right. Luke 9:61. 9:61. Basically, what he's saying there is someone saying, look, Jesus, I want to follow you, but let me go back to my house and finish some things first. God is calling some people right now, but they want to let me get some stuff right in my home first. Let me get some stuff right at my job first. There is no time for that. I tell you what, if you do it first, then all of those other things, if you tend to his business, I live this as an example. If you tend to his business, he will tend to your business. I see this happen every day of my life. Qualifications